Hey friends, Jessica Mason, reluctantly here with another episode of Sober Story. I got my heart broken. I know that rebound relationships often help people heal, and I didn't think I was getting into a rebound relationship. I thought I was just developing feelings for somebody who'd been important to me for a very long time. But I was loving with a broken heart, and we knew it was, not the right time. Timing had never been our strong suit. And so we agreed to try to just be friends and leave the possibility open for a relationship in the future. But I ended up getting hurt. And because I had cared about this person for a very long time, and, when we finally started expressing romantic interest to each other, it felt very intense and very strong. And a big part of it was that I was so desperate to feel that kind of love, that in my marriage, I was loved as much as he possibly could. But I knew that physical affection, was hard for him, and I was understanding of why. And I would post those pictures of him cuddling up on me, and it felt so wonderful. But just like in that movie, The Imagineer, with Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman, where, two characters are trying to love the same woman, but only one of them does. And in the beginning, it felt great when the love was real, that it was easier to get through the times that it was just going through the motions. But at the end, the times that it was real made it that much harder when it was just going through the motions. So when someone finally put their arms around me and I felt it, it was hard to not fall really hard for that. And I didn't talk about it because I was embarrassed that I was opening myself up to that at a time that everybody, including me, knew that it was the wrong time. I didn't want to disrespect the man who tried to love me. But I don't know how these feelings for somebody else influenced my decision to go for divorce as opposed to staying with the separation. When we separated, I was going back and forth between I can't do this anymore and, well, maybe we just need some time. But then I developed feelings for someone else, and I felt that the only thing I could do was to go for divorce, that it was just trying to do the honorable thing in a confusing situation. But I ended up getting really hurt. And I didn't have anything left to give to more hurt. So losing my marriage, my son, my best friend, all at once, and then turning my best friend into a romantic interest and then losing him completely, pulled the last little stick holding me up. Remember that game where the sticks were below and holding up the marbles? And that one little thing that pulled out, I came crashing down. And this is a really embarrassing video to make. It was incredibly poor judgment. I understand why it happened. I understand that I had gone back and forth, wondering if I should get out of my marriage, wondering if I could take it, if it could get better, and feeling like, you know, exactly what I'm looking for is on the other side of this. I can have the love and the life that I want if I can just let go of this unhealthy back and forth. So maybe that was the whole purpose of it, to let me let go. And I needed to let go because stress and conflict makes my pain unmanageable. But I have been dealing with more stress, more pain, more regret this past week. This is going to be a long one. Sorry, the uncomfortable ones are. I have a hard time getting to the point. I covered Kwan's signature tattoo on my spine about a week ago. And I'd been doing tattoo removal treatments. I never wanted names. I felt worn down and cornered into doing them, so I resented them. But when I covered it, and it was so permanent, it kind of split me open in a way that I wasn't expecting. And I was really upset because it couldn't be undone. And it was the biggest tattoo that I've gotten. And it was right on my spine, right in the center of me. And at a time I was having back pain. And so I just felt, and I did a video on this, how pain in the center of you, you know, your body responds with different emotions than I was with head pain. But the point of this video is that I have this self-sabotaging tendency to hurt myself to prove to others how much they are hurting me. And it sounds ridiculous putting into words. I can remember a time I was fighting with a boyfriend, and we were driving home, and we were supposed to stop at Pat's. I don't know. It was an Irish, what is it now? The Philly cheesesteak sandwiches. It was my favorite, my absolute favorite. We were going to stop on the way home. And when it came time to stop, I was like, no, I don't want it. Forget it. Let's just go home. And I was the one who wanted it. I was the one who wanted those sandwiches. Those were my favorite sandwiches. It didn't bother him that we weren't stopping, but I was trying to prove how upset I was that I was going to take away something that I really wanted. And what I've gone through this past week, the decisions that I made, trying to show how much I was hurt. Look how much I am hurting. Look what you have done. And it's that, you know, the adage of anger is swallowing poison, hoping the other person will die. Why? Quite literally did that. I swallowed the poison because I was so hurt. And now this person isn't in my life at all. So I feel like I'm starting over, because I am in a lot of ways. I knew that this needed to be the time focusing on me, my health, my personal growth, my healing. And the universe has a way of being very insistent, because every time I have said, well, I know I'm supposed to be doing that, but I'm going to lean on this person. They make me feel better. They make me feel happy. And as I have done that, that person has been removed. So while I have a lot of peripheral support, people who do care about me, I don't have that intimate relationship that I text throughout the day, that I tell about my day, and vice versa. And the universe is being very clear that I am not supposed to have that right now. That I need to lift, flop, pull myself. And I need to wear my edges off. And it's interesting how often I refer to a children's book. But coming to whoever's watching this with that admission that I made the mistake of opening up my broken heart to be hurt all over again is hard. But I think a lot of us get hurt by things that we never talked about to begin with. And then there's no one to go to for support when it doesn't pan out. Or, you know, we talk about it, but the people around us are like, that's a bad idea. I mean, people in my life knew about this person. And they all said, it's not the right time. And I was like, I know, but, so if you've gotten yourself into a situation that you didn't talk about, or worse, that you talked about and people warned you against doing it, and it went poorly just like they said it would, it's hard to reach out for help. It's embarrassing. But when we don't, when we just swallow it, then it's dangerous. And I have made the decision that I would rather be embarrassed than dead. I would rather talk about the hurt that I'm experiencing than swallow it. I didn't travel this weekend because my body shut down. But I think my body shut down because me traveling this weekend would have been dangerous for me. I was in a very unhealthy mental place because I was hurting considerably over something that I didn't want to talk about. Felt embarrassed for putting myself in this situation, embarrassed for even feeling. I was worried that if I went to Nashville, I wasn't going to come home because I didn't want to. I was hurting so much. I didn't want to be me anymore. And I'm just talking about it because this, guy broke my heart. I mean, it was a while ago anyway at this point. It just got mean this week. But I just felt the weight of my divorce and everything just kind of hit all at once, that I was doing so well, focusing on myself, focused on getting better and getting healthy and getting whole. And then when the back injury knocked me down, I didn't have the gym and running and walking dogs, my outlets. I just felt left with nothing. And I didn't want to exist anymore. It's just too much pain. My body, my mind, my emotions, my very soul hurt. And I let people down by not going. I had to contact people who donated and offer to give them their money back. They were all kind enough to let me use the flight credit for another nonprofit trip in the future. And then I posted on Facebook that I was dealing with some serious depression. And I didn't want to teach today. I didn't want to go in. I didn't want to move my body. But I did. Got up, got dressed. I smelled like a foot, but I went anyway. And I cried my tears out of my pores. Sometimes when you sweat, it is just wringing out all of those tears that were going to fall. And I was surrounded by wonderful women with whom I shared openly about what I was feeling. And we were talking about, what is it we want out of Sassy Fit? Why are we there? Because it changes from time to time, my vanity doesn't always get me there. Caring that my clothes fit would not get me there on a day today. And they don't fit right now. And my brand new student said that she said, I want to be a better me. And I thought that summed it up. So if you've made it 14 minutes into this video, this is my battle cry. I want to be a better me. I want to be whole and happy, healed. And I don't want to surround myself with people who constantly tell me I'm broken, who shame me for saying that I feel broken at times, but then are always trying to fix me. Because somebody who's always trying to fix you is telling you that you need fixing. They're telling you you're broken. And it's okay to feel broken. Sometimes we break, but we put ourselves back together. And it's our job. It's not anybody else's. I don't want or need anyone to fix me. And even in this broken down state, I'm still worthy of love, acceptance, especially from myself. So, welcome to Sober Story, episode 1.